The meanest and baddest men on earth are found in boxing's heavyweight division.
He's allowing Mike Tyson to trap him to the corner.
The unmatched power and entertainment they bring are what separates them ahead of the other weight classes.
One big punch can change everybody's career.
The heavyweight division attracts more attention than the lower weights and certainly brings its own brand of excitement to ring center.
And in 1 second, this can all change with one punch.
Michael Moore is down, goes Moore on a right hand.
This division is also home to some of the most legendary and recognizable personalities in the sport's history.
I took up the world! I took up the world!
These athletes have defied the boxing odds and etched their respective names in the conversation of the all-time best. There is nothing quite like the electricity that takes place in an arena when two big-named heavyweights meet. The idea of big men going at it in a fight that can end at any moment has no competition in all of sports.
Against the ropes, I've never seen. And there's a right hand.
Here is a list of the 10 greatest fights, the ones that turned a heavyweight boxer into an icon. In 1988, boxing fans were spoilt with the fight, billed once and for all, between champions Mike Tyson and Michael Spinks.
Now we'll see who's the champion and who's the chump.
Spinks had defeated the old King Larry Holmes twice, and then he was stripped of the crown by the IBF for refusing to fight their mandatory challenger.
The whole world knows he won't do it. He'll run around the ring for a few rounds, but Mike Tyson would run him down.
Both men were undefeated and each had a claim to being the legitimate heavyweight champion.
Did definitely begin when Mike entered the heavyweight series, because at that time Spinks was the IBF champion.
It was at the time the richest fight in boxing history, grossing some $70 million, of which Tyson earned 20 and Spinks 13.5 million.
And if you're going to fight someone about whom you might be worried, you might as well get as many dollars for it as you possibly can.
Despite months of heavy buildup with two undefeated heavyweight champions going up against one another, the fight did not last long, with Tyson knocking out Spinks within 91 seconds.
When I came in the ring and I looked at him, I could see in his face and I saw the fear and I knew it was going to be a first-round knockout.
In 1971, both Ali and Frazier were undefeated champions who held legitimate claims to the title of World Heavyweight Champion.
And if Joe Frazier whoops me, Angelo, he will be the champion of the whole world.
Ali had won the title from Sonny Liston in Miami Beach in 1964, and successfully defended his belt up until he had it stripped by boxing authorities for refusing induction into the armed forces in 1967.
Mr. Muhammad Ali has just refused to be inducted into the United States Armed Forces and the local Selective Service Board for whatever action deemed to be appropriate.
In Ali's absence, Frazier won 2 championship belts through elimination tournaments, knocking out Buster Mathis and Jimmy Ellis to replace Ali as the acknowledged world champion. The fight itself exceeded even its promotional hype.
I was a little leery about him getting out of there because he was in bad shape in that 11th round.
The fight was about even until late in round 11 when Frazier caught Ali, backed into a corner, with a crushing left hook that almost floored Ali, sending him falling into the ropes. Early in round 15, Frazier landed a spectacular left hook that put Ali on his back.
Frazier saw that opening and threw a massive left hook.
Frazier had retained the title with a unanimous decision, dealing Ali his first professional loss. The 40,000 fans who turned out were treated to the roughest, most hard-fought battle among the big men in 25 years. The normally slick Walcott came out banging, and with a perfect left hook dropped Marciano on the seat of his pants. By the 13th, Walcott was far enough ahead, but then, the punch landed flush on Walcott's jaw, was among the hardest ever thrown in a heavyweight title fight.
An explosive knockout finish to one of the most sensational heavyweight championship fights of all time.
Frazier was 29-0 and had won 10 consecutive heavyweight title fights before meet George Foreman in 1973. Foreman, almost 5 years younger, was in peak condition in the prime of his career, with no prior rough encounters, no injuries, little wear and tear.
When he scored those big knockouts, he would really brutalize the guy before he got him out of there.
He won his first 37 professional fights before earning a shot at heavyweight champion smoking Joe Frazier on January 22, 1973, in Kingston, Jamaica.
Right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down.
The fight wasn't 3 minutes old and Frazier had been decked 3 times.
It was like a ball bouncing up and down.
It is arguably the most brutal dethroning of a heavyweight champion in the modern era. In 1990, Iron Mike was still dominant in the ring, scoring a 93-second knockout against Carl the Truth Williams in his previous fight. Buster Douglas was ranked as the number 7 heavyweight by Ring magazine and had met with mixed success in his professional boxing career up to that point.
Just nobody believes anybody can compete with Mike Tyson.
Tyson entered the ring as a 42-1 favorite, but as the fight ended, the entire world went into a state of shock.
Mike Tyson not taking Buster Douglas as seriously as he should have.
Douglas controlled the fight from the beginning, working behind a strong jab on the outside and tying up Tyson whenever the champion got inside.
Here he's against the rope. I've never seen. And there's a right hand.
Douglas was knocked down in the 8th round by a massive Tyson uppercut and only just survived the count.
Still wobbly. Let's see what Mike can do to finish. That will finish things in.
Oh, the uppercut.
What an uppercut.
Finally, in the 10th round, Douglas landed a few jabs before planting an uppercut over Mike Tyson.
It's over. It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
Unbelievable.
2 years earlier, the German puncher had inflicted Lewis's first career defeat and had been heralded as a heavyweight hero in his native country, which was under Nazi regime.
I'm happy that I have the chance again to fight for the title. And I hope the best man may win.
Not only was the heavyweight championship of the world at stake, but also, to so many observers, the very direction of the world itself.
All over Max Schmeling here in round 1. Ripping punches to the head.
But the Brown Bomber's first-round annihilation of the Black Ulan of the Rhine catapulted him to American superstardom and made him a cherished symbol of national pride. In 1974, George Foreman reigned supreme. The previous year, he had astonished the sports world with his terrifying demolition of Joe Frazier, knocking Smokin' Joe to the canvas 6 times in less than 2 rounds.
The fight is over. The fight is over. The winner is George Foreman.
His first defense was a 1-round blowout of Jose Roman, but his next match in March of '74 against Ken Norton ended in the 2nd, which made it the 8th bout in a row to be decided by Foreman in either the 1st or 2nd round.
This man depends on getting his man in the first 1 or 2 rounds. If he don't do that, he's frustrated.
Muhammad Ali was a prohibitive underdog.
Oh, that right hand. The overhand right.
He was 32, and some thought he was past his prime.
I don't think he can beat George Foreman.
While he was clearly giving away the rounds, Ali knew Foreman would get tired.
Foreman with that right. Ali!
But Ali, in the searing heat of Zaire, stunned the world when he played possum, using the genius rope-a-dope tactics to let fearsome Foreman punch himself out before stopping him in round 8. Soon after he was released from prison in March of 1995, Tyson had looked awesome in knocking out Frank Bruno and Bruce Seldon. The bizarre history between Holyfield and Tyson made the fight potentially very interesting.
A fight that everyone looks to with great joy because it's going to be historical.
Holyfield was 34 and seemingly washed up, having lost 3 of his last 7 fights.
I would have beaten him earlier.
A capacity crowd assembled at the MGM Grand to witness the expected execution.
Mike Tyson.
Why?
Because he's the man!
As we head for the bell.
After Holyfield survived the first round, it became obvious very quickly that he had the beating of Tyson.
Like a champion, like the overachieving warrior.
A punch from Holyfield sent in the 10th, Tyson staggering across the ring. A still hurting Tyson answered the bell for the 11th, but Holyfield quickly finished him off.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
One of the most eagerly anticipated fights of the year delivered one of the best knockouts, in typical Fury fashion. A fight that became an instant classic, Fury successfully defended his WBC heavyweight title and ended the trilogy between the pair by sending a massively bulked-up Wilder plummeting onto the canvas in Las Vegas. After a well-contested affair, the Gypsy King knocked down Wilder in the 10th, and when the American managed to get back up, you could sense the fight was destined for Fury to knock him out. On June 8, 2002, the two icons of heavyweight boxing finally stepped into the ring after many years of trying.
You have to fight Mike Tyson and you have to challenge him.
Lewis vs. Tyson was the highest-grossing event in pay-per-view history, generating $106.9 million from 1.95 million buys in the USA. Lewis, the last unified heavyweight champion of the world, dominated and stopped Iron Mike in the 8th round in of what proved to be a mismatch in the bitter Memphis bout.